Hey guys, my name is Alex and welcome back to The Alex Show. In today's episode, I'm going to show you my favorite spots and things to do here in Cuenca, Ecuador. Whenever I travel, there's three things that I love to do, and it's enjoy good food, finding amazing vista points, and getting a real feel for the city by walking around. Cuenca is such a beautiful city. It's the third largest city in Ecuador, and it has amazing Spanish colonial architecture all over, which is my favorite type of architecture. And the food here is amazing, and the people are amazing, and it's just a wonderful place to walk around and enjoy yourself and your time off, to go out with family and friends, and I really love it here. So why don't we go to our first location and check it out. Next up is Parque Calderon, one of the main spots to check out when you're in the city of Cuenca. It is right in the historical center of the city, and it's a park that I have been familiar with for a very long time. I always walk by it over the years, and it brings up such good memories. I feel so at home when I'm in Parque Calderon. This is my favorite square in el centro de Cuenca. It has two churches, and I had the pleasure of visiting the Cathedral of Immaculate Conception. It has two distinct blue domes, and my cousin and I got to walk up these winding brick staircases all the way to the rooftop to enjoy spectacular views of the square, all for $2 each. So when you come to Cuenca, make sure to enjoy this amazing rooftop view of the center of the city. And next to the church is one of my favorite places to get lunch. It's called El Confesionario, which translates to the confessional, and I love the open air seating in the middle of the establishment. It's so Spanish colonial, it's so classy to me. They've decorated it with flowers, and it's just a beautiful place to get an affordable meal. Can you believe that you can buy a lunch there that includes a soup, a plate of meat and rice and salad, and a juice, all inclusive for $3.50? You can't even buy a juice for $3.50 in New York. Needless to say, I'm living my best life here when it comes to dining out. After lunch, make sure to grab an ice cream at Tutto Fredo. I would always go there with my cousins and try out the tiramisu flavor, but there's so many unique flavors that are not available in the States that you can try out for yourself.
Ok, sacudo el pelo.
My next favorite place I visited while in Cuenca is El Cajas National Park. It's so beautiful and expansive and awe-inspiring. Actually, why don't I stop talking about it and instead take you there so you can see for yourself. Hi guys, I'm here at, ¿cómo se llama? Hey guys, I'm here at El Cajas Parque Nacional here in Ecuador. I just wanted to show you how beautiful this was. I'm here with my cousin today. Isn't this stunning? Check this out. We're here at Yaviucu Lake, which is also known as Zorocucho. It is 3,160 meters above sea level.
Que es bastante alto, hace bastante frío, pero es hermoso. Como pueden ver, es una laguna bastante grande. Podemos encontrar muchas iguales en todo este sector del Cajas National Park. Y bueno, les invito a que vengan, hace un poco de frío, así que vengan bien abrigados y les esperamos aquí.
This national park is protected, and you can actually find llamas here, which they look so cute, but I don't know if they're very nice, who knows, but they are so adorable. And the llamas here actually live in their natural habitat. They don't have any owners, and they are able to roam around pretty much wherever they want to go, and this is their home, and this is where they live freely.
Es muy importante el agua del páramo andino. Este bosque atrae y capta la humedad del ambiente y así alimenta de agua a toda la región, alimentando a los riachuelos, a las lagunas. Además nos ayuda a controlar que no hayan inundaciones en la ciudad, mantiene controlada el agua en el bosque.
So we're almost done walking around the perimeter of the lagoon, and this is just one of the many amazing, beautiful vista points that you can stop and stare at. It's very easy to walk around the perimeter of the lagoon. It's really relaxing. It's been so wonderful spending time with my cousin over here. If you guys like what you see, definitely consider coming and visiting. So one more thing that I want to mention is that it is absolutely free to come here and enjoy the beautiful mountains and the lagoon and walk around and just breathe in the fresh air. You know that I like free stuff. The one thing that they ask is that you take care of it. Enjoy it and keep it preserved the way it is. After our hike, we went to Dos Chorreras restaurant and we got to enjoy really delicious pastries along the river that flows along the restaurant. We had a backdrop of beautiful mountains, and I loved how the clouds just sat on top of the mountains that day. That's something that you'll find that's pretty normal for the area of El Cajas. There's always going to be neblina, clouds passing through that area. So it's really cool because you're really high up in the mountains and you've got these clouds that are literally at your feet.
Hi, we are here in La Chocolateria. If you visit this place, you can enjoy a really, really nice churro. And also, you can enjoy the view. Come on, look at this.
Definitely order the churros and get the chocotella dip. It did not disappoint. Another favorite thing that I got to do here was embark on a scavenger hunt with Busqueda Del Tesoro in Cuenca. It was actually one of my really good friends who I met in the States who later moved to Cuenca that told me about it, and I'm so glad that she did. Busqueda Del Tesoro actually translates to search for gold. We were meant to complete all of the challenges so that we would eventually find our little chocolate prizes that were wrapped in a gold tinfoil made to look like gold coins. Thanks to Busqueda del Tesoro, we got to explore the beautiful historic center of Cuenca. We would connect with the tour organizers through the app WhatsApp. We started at the Museo Municipal de Arte Moderno. I loved their gardens. It was so beautiful in there. It was actually my first time in that museum. Afterwards, I loved getting to stand exactly where Cuenca was first founded in 1557. That was a cool fun fact. Right by where the Cruz Verde is. I'm pretty sure I'm calling that correctly.
So the challenge is that we have to take a picture over there, and we have to be as creative as we can. What they used to do in some neighborhoods, they used to put a grease pole, and then they used to make children climb up the pole.
So they can get the prizes.
Exactly. So they can get all the prizes. Whatever they got, they threw at their families so the families could just take them.
There was also some really cool art pieces that were carved and made into one of the walls that is facing the cross.
Mira como sale, like 3D.
It kind of sticks out of the wall, so it's really cool to see that kind of art in the city representing and paying homage to panaderias and little bread bakeries of that time. And speaking of the Cruz Verde, that's how travelers would supposedly know that they had arrived in Cuenca, by seeing that cross. We also got to run up and walk down La Escalinata, which is a wide staircase that used to be a lot narrower, as I'm told, and it takes you from La Calle Larga down to the Rio Tomebamba. We also got to try some of these cookies of corpus, galletas de corpus, algo así, something like that. One of the challenges was to go to this local business and support them by purchasing some of their baked goods. I highly recommend that if you're in the city of Cuenca that you get these cookies. My mom would always take us to get these cookies, so for me it's kind of like a traditional staple. There's so many other cool things that we got to see and take pictures of while we were on this walking tour, like all the art around the city, other museums. Getting to walk around the city just made me even more familiar with it than I had ever been. So I think it's a really cool way to interact with and get to know Cuenca, and I highly recommend that you look into this tourist company that's creating these really cool scavenger hunt games. They're called Busqueda del Tesoro en Cuenca, and you should check them out. And I'll leave a link in the description below if you're interested in learning more. The next spot is El Puente Rio Roto, the broken bridge. I remember coming to this bridge when I was younger, and I would always hang out with my cousins here. It's just a really cool tourist attraction, and it was really nice to come back to this unique site on a quiet day. This bridge is now one of the main tourist attractions in Cuenca. It was constructed between 1840 and 1850 and was meant to connect the historical center with the lower part of the city. It is actually the oldest bridge of Cuenca, and in 1950 the Rio Tomebamba flooded with such force that it practically broke off half of the bridge. Walking the Rio Tomebamba. I've walked along this river several times with my family and on my own during the day. It's really relaxing. There usually is a strong current even if water levels are not high. Sometimes the river can become a little bit more aggressive due to heavy rainfall. It's a wild river that runs through the city of Cuenca, Ecuador, flowing from the high Andes at El Cajas, merges into the Amazon River, and ends up in the Atlantic Ocean. The city authorities have successfully converted the riverbanks within the city limits into a park, and you can sometimes find people enjoying a siesta along the river or washing their clothes even. There's actually 4 rivers, I believe, that stretch across Cuenca. If you're looking for a relaxing walk to take a break, I would highly recommend walking along the Rio Tomebamba. Another favorite spot that I discovered was Parque Ictocruz, also referred to as Mega Parque Ictocruz in the Turi area, or right outside of Turi. It's a big park with safe walking trails and a spectacular view of Cuenca. Although I have heard that it can be a little dangerous at night, so I would suggest going during the daytime. I loved getting to breathe in the fresh air, get an amazing view of Cuenca, and take a picture with the Cuenca installation. You can actually barbecue food there. They have a grill in an outdoor space, so that's pretty cool if you want to bring your own food. The park is so new that it was actually my cousin and my uncle's first time going there. It was finished about a year or 2 ago, so definitely come and check it out. Another cool spot to hit up is Turi. It's got a great vista point of the city of Cuenca. It's awesome to watch the sunset from there. Years ago when I went, it wasn't as crowded. Now it has become a hot spot and a lot of people gather there. There isn't a lot of parking space, so I would probably recommend getting there by taxi or by bus, but there's a lot of restaurants there as well, and you can get a coffee or get lunch there, and it's a really cool view. Another favorite place of mine that I love to visit while in Cuenca is just outside the city. It's my uncle's farm actually. He has cows and amazing views of the mountain range. He also has a lagoon, which is pretty hard to get to. It took a long time and it was pretty exhausting and my legs were trembling, but it was so worth it to get up there. It was so quiet and so peaceful and beautiful and incredible to see. For a moment there, it started to rain, so we had to throw on our ponchos, and the rain did go away by the time that we reached the lagoon. We got to sit down and enjoy some fruit that is local to Ecuador. I had zapote, which was new for me. It was also really cool to see the fresh water flowing down the rivers and the creeks from the lagoon down to the city, which flows into the 4 rivers of the city, and then eventually into the Amazon River, and then eventually into the Atlantic Ocean. But it was just really cool to get a first-hand look at the water when it's flowing from the top of the mountain. And I actually decided to drink some of that water. I have to tell you, it was like drinking out of a water bottle. My mom did say that I might have to take a pill to kill any amoebas. I have to verify whether or not that's true, but the water was fresh and delicious, and I honestly couldn't believe that I was drinking out of the ground like that.
¡Ay, ay! Está obesa.
The next spot that I discovered that I want to share with you guys is called Guapan, and I kind of don't want to give this one away because it feels like a hidden gem, kind of untouched by tourists, but I had such an impactful experience here that I just felt like I needed to share this with you. After running some errands in Azogues, which is a neighboring city to Cuenca, my cousin decided to take me to an area called Guapan, where her dad used to work collecting and directing the hot boiling water that comes from the rocks that are coming from the volcano. It was so cool to hear the water boiling from the rocks and to see it collect into little pools.
Wow. Super hot. Muy caliente. Oh my god.
Y segurito debajo de esta piedra sale el agua.
Ah! Oh my god.
My cousin was like, let's take off our shoes and socks and let's soak up all these minerals, and so we did.
Buena idea que vinimos.
La cara me duele. Ay, ay, no me aguanto mucho.
Oh my god.
Super hot, caliente. Mete tus brazos en el agua.
So this is from a volcano.
Sí.
We also ended up spreading the mud all over our arms, and the mud was hot, but it was so relaxing, and you really felt connected to nature, which is what this whole trip was about for me. It looks like in this area of Guapan there is some construction going on. It looks like they're going to be building a thermal therapy center there, so I'm really glad that I got to experience this in its purest form before large crowds got to it. Banos is another area outside of Cuenca, and it's a more commercialized way to enjoy the hot water that comes from volcanoes. Banos is known for its several spas, and it's a great place to enjoy the therapeutic thermal waters. I really had an amazing time at this spa called Novaqua. I went with my cousin. It was $20 to get access to pretty much the entire spa area. You got access to the thermal pool, you got access to the contrast pools where you would step into a hot pool and then stay in there for maybe 4 to 5 minutes, and then you would step into the cold pool, which was really cold, and you would be in there for 1 to 2 minutes, and you would repeat that cycle for about 4 to 5 times. My feet were tingling, and somebody else nearby mentioned that that was your circulation being activated, so it's actually very good for you. We also got access to the mud cave. They like carved out this space within the bedrock or the side of a mountain. It's got a thermal pool in there, and it's got a little bowl of mud. You rub the mud all over yourself and you wait until it dries, and then you step into the thermal hot pool, and we had a lot of fun. And here's some footage of us enjoying that.
Este lado voy a tener baby skin.
This is so fun! Wow.
Wow.
This is so cool.
She's blind.
Oh my god, I'm blind.
¡Ah! ¡Tu teléfono! ¡Cuidado! ¡Nuestras cosas!
We also had access to a sauna, a Turkish thermal, which was basically a room with a lot of vapor and steam, and we were breathing in eucalyptus. We also experienced something called baños de cajón, which you basically sit in a wooden box filled with vapor and steam. Then every 5 minutes they dump a cold bucket of water on you. That was hilarious, and I am going to cut to some footage of us experiencing that right here.
Siéntese para acá adelante un poquito. Eso para hacer en todo el cuerpo, ¿ya?
I've realized that the contrast of temperature of water is what relaxes you the most. So I highly recommend you experiencing that, even though it is a bit of a shock to your system. After that, we finished the day with the piscina thermal, and we just swam about a little bit. We were given a cup of coffee and an empanada each on the house with our $20 admission fee. We met so many different people that were from different parts of the world that came to live in Cuenca. We met a guy who moved from France to live in Cuenca. We also met gringos, other American expats who lived in Atlanta, Georgia, or had come here to teach at one point, but then decided to move here, and they love Cuenca, Ecuador because of the affordable healthcare, because of the climate, and because it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So there's a lot of funding that goes to the preservation of historical architecture and the arts here. These are some of the things that people are really loving about Cuenca and why they choose Cuenca over Panama or Costa Rica or Mexico. It was really cool to have an open discussion with these gringos to hear their experiences, because I think it's really awesome that you could be from one country and go to another place that is so outside of your comfort zone, that's kind of completely different. It's a different language, and it just feels like a different world. After talking to them, I definitely solidified for me that I want to retire here in Cuenca one day. And while we're on the topic of self-care, I definitely want to add this bonus spot that I really enjoyed going to while here in Cuenca, Ecuador, and that's Matilda Nail Bar. I honestly had neglected my feet for years, and I knew that coming on this trip was all about self-care. So I decided to get a deep pedicure where I would soak my feet, I would scrape off the dead skin, and I would moisturize. My cousin had recommended this place to me, and when I tell you it only cost me $19 for the whole treatment, it would probably cost me $40 to $60 in the States. If you know how much a pedicure costs, a deep pedicure, put it in the comment section below. The owner was super nice, so I definitely recommend you coming here if you are looking for a great manicure or pedicure. It was affordable and the service was amazing. It's never too late for self-care. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Those are some of my favorite things and places to go while in Cuenca, Ecuador. And I hope that you got a lot of value out of it. I hope that you have a better idea of what to hit up when you're in Cuenca. I know I didn't cover everything because I just didn't have enough time to hit up every single place. But when I come back, I'll make sure to fill in the gaps. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel as it supports me and helps me out. Also, if you'd like to see other content like this, click this video up here. And if you'd like to see another video on my channel in general, click this video down below. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao! Adios!